Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, guys. Today is July the 4th, 2021. Today I'm going to be looking at the S&P 500 where we left off on Friday and some targets to the upside and where I see it going if we do receive a pullback. I'm also going to be looking at our secondary names on our watch list at Wealthy Mentor Trading, which involves Apple. We have key resistance coming up at that 140 mark. We also have NVDA at all-time highs. Tesla, multiple rejections at that $700 mark. We do have Netflix pushing higher, approaching that 552 mark, as I previously mentioned on our last video. We also have Facebook pushing at all-time highs and some really bullish analyst upgrades, along with AMD, had an amazing week, also approaching that all-time high area and approaching key resistance. We also have Path, which was a new IPO that is recently pushing down and approaching those IPO low levels. And we're also going to be touching up on AMC, what's happening with the options calls and the dip that the buyer stepped in and bought on Friday. But without getting started right there, guys, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends. Also mention in the comment section if you want a specific name called out and taken a review of. And if you are interested in trading with us, head over to thewealthymentor.net and check out our Discord group where we offer daily watch lists along with swing trading names, market analysis every single day, along with Benzinga Squawk to keep you up to date, and analyst upgrades, the whole 9 yards. Whether you're a novice trader or a seasoned vet, is definitely an asset to have and to be a part of. Okay. That being said, I do have the S&P 500 chart here on the 1 hour scale. And as you guys can see here, we did leave off last week just around that 4280 mark, and we had nothing but a bullish week here. All green candlesticks pushing us all the way up to that 4355 area. Going into next week, I do have 4360 as key resistance. I do have that number because stocks do love to respect round numbers. So going into tomorrow, I am looking at that break of 4360. Above that, I have 4380 as I have drawn out here. And I also have a bullish target at that 4400 psychological resistance. Overall, we are really bullish on the market. And as they say, the trend is your friend until no longer. So in my opinion, I do see us pushing all the way to that $4,400 psychological resistance before seeing some sort of pullback. We are at all-time highs on multiple sectors, such as the semiconductors, the Dow Jones, the healthcare sector, all very bullish. The only leading sector, or one of the leading sectors that's lagging behind, is the financial sector. So look for sector rotation going into next week, perhaps a little pullback, but I am expecting that $4,400 hit and then a pullback. And if we do receive a pullback, I just wanted to bring to your attention here that we do have some gap fills, one most notably here around that 4320 mark, and another one here down at that 4250 mark. If we do receive some bearish news, definitely look for those gap fills to get hit. Overall, like I said, I am very bullish. If we do receive some sort of mini pullback, I have support here at that 4330 mark. If that does break, 4310 and 4300 psychological are areas where I do see a pullback happening. We did have some sort of consolidation here before we broke out over that $4,300 mark. So I do see a pullback to that $4,300 mark, a retest of that, and potentially go higher. Okay. Like I said, all sectors are pretty much bullish except the financial sector, which is lagging behind. So look to see if there's a pullback in the other sectors for the financial sector rotation to push higher. Okay. So that's my thoughts on S&P 500. I'm very bullish, especially with the tech sector leading the way. Okay. First name that I want to speak about is Apple. Ticker is AAPL. I haven't had Apple here in a long time just because we have been, consolidating on those low levels of 125, 126 for a pretty long time. Now, we did push higher last week and we are at that 140 area. And that to me is pretty significant because I'm going to switch over here to the 4 hour chart and show you guys why I am looking at the target above 140. As you guys can see, 140 closed off on Friday. We also have a 140 touch on April the 26th, 2021. Multiple touches here at that 137 to 139 mark. And also another area here back on December the 29th, 2020, where we couldn't break it. And obviously some price consolidation here where we had a hard time breaking it before ultimately hitting that 145 all-time high area. So going into next week, obviously I would like to see 140 break with convincing volume. Above 140, I do have take profits at that 144, 145 area at all-time highs. I personally would like to take profits at that 145 area and then see how the stock reacts. If we do see bullish volume, of course, you can enter, positions over that 145 mark to get pretty much a blue sky breakout and let your position ride. Above 145, I do have a next bullish target here at that 150 mark. Like I said before, stocks do tend to move in round numbers and they respect them quite a bit. So 144, 145 is my take profit number one, and the 150 is my take profit number two heading into next week. Now, let's just say we get rejected at that 140 area once again. Well, a break of 140, I would short. I would potentially short at that 137.5 area. If that were to break with some convincing volume such as this, to the downside. And like I've mentioned before, Apple does tend to move with the S&P 500. So if the S&P 500 is weak, definitely look to see if there's a correlation there, and that will give you a confirmation to short Apple at that 137.50 mark. I do have take profit positions at that 135 area and that 133.5 for potential area where we could see ourselves dumping down to, where we did have some price action right here all around April and right here before we broke out on June the 29th, 2021. Pretty bullish on Apple, guys. I haven't been bullish on Apple for a while. We did slush around that 127 to 123 area, and it was pretty boring. Here we are now testing that 140 area, and it's pretty exciting to see because we might be able to hit those all-time highs if we break that area. Okay, so that is my view on Apple, and I am bullish. Next name that I want to discuss is NVIDIA. NVDA is the ticker. Again, here we are on the 4-hour time frame. Before even zooming in, you guys could see it's a straight beeline up, and I am very bullish on NVIDIA. I did think we would receive some sort of pullback, and it's pretty much bull flag after bull flag, right? Push up here, bull flag, push up here, bull flag broken to the upside. I would do see some consolidation at that 820 area. However, if we do break that, I do have targets of 830, 840, and 850. Guys, I just want to bring to your attention that this stock has been upgraded multiple times by key analysts, and I do definitely see this going all the way to 900 even. There's an overexuberance of buyers going on. And like I said before, the trend is your friend. And right now, it's nothing but bullish. However, if we do see some sort of pullback in the semiconductor sector, and we do see weakness in the S&P 500, I do see that 810, 804 area as key support. If 810 were to break, that would be my first confirmation. It would ring a bell to me, right? 804 is where I start shorting the stock with convincing volume, of course. I just don't want to see a spike under 804. I want to see on the larger time frame, such as the 4-hour time frame that I'm on, that an 804 is broken and a next candlestick underneath that 804 is starting to develop to the downside. Now, if that does happen, I do have take profits at that 786 mark, where we did have the candle wick down here before buyers stepped in. So convincing volume down to 786, which would be my first take profit area. And obviously, if we do break 786, I do have 775 as the next take profit area, which was key resistance on the way up. Key resistance is now support for us if we do drop. So 786, 775 are key areas for me if we do receive a pullback on NVIDIA. Overall, still very bullish. Much like Apple, my position remains bullish. Another name that I want to touch up on is Tesla. And I wanted to bring Tesla to your attention because we have been rejected around this area, let me zoom in here for you guys, at that $700 area, that psychological resistance of $700. We are in a channel right here that is between 700 and 664. I want to see one of those areas break, obviously, either to the upside or to the downside. Along with a break, I want to see convincing volume break. Obviously, I want to see those levels break with convincing volume. So I will be closely monitoring Tesla going into tomorrow. I should say Tuesday. Tomorrow's a holiday, if you guys didn't know. And 700 is an area for me. I'm not going to trade any areas from that 682 to $700 mark. If you're a scalp trader, definitely look above that 682 area for take profits at 690, 695, and 700. If you're a conservative trader like myself, looking at Tesla, I want to see $700 break. That would confirm to me that channel is being broken, and it would give me a sense of relief that I am in a position where I don't have to look back. Okay. If 700 were to break, I have take profits of 710, 720, 730, and 740 respectively. Guys, when these channels do break, look for strong volume, and this definitely will catapult all the way to 750 and above if buyers do step in. Look for delivery numbers, look for any articles, any upgrades, stuff like that. Tesla does tend to respect. If we do not go to the upside, look for 665, as I mentioned. If this is broken, 650, 640, and 630 are my targets. We did have strong resistance at that 630 mark before we finally broke out with convincing volume. So a pullback down to 630 retest is highly likely if we do see some weakness in Tesla. Okay. Neutral on Tesla, not bullish, not bearish. Just want to see one of those levels break before I make a further analysis. Okay. Another name that I want to bring to your attention that I spoke about a few weeks ago is Netflix. Netflix has been trending higher. Not the best of volume. However, like I mentioned before, we do have that key area that I want to see break at that 552 to 556 area because we do have strong resistance at there. Going into next week, I want to see 536 break. If 536 breaks, my take profit is that $542 mark. If you are a safer trader, definitely look for 542 to break for your entries to take profit at 552 to 556. Okay. If you are even a safer trader than that, and you don't want to deal with all this and you want to be extra sure, look for 556 to break to hop onto a trade to the upside. Now to the downside, we do have support here at 530, some nice consolidation around that area. If that were to break, I am looking at shorts at 522 and 512 to the 508 area, where we did have the breaking point here catapulting us to that 536 area. As I mentioned, previous resistance is now support. A retest of 512 and a move higher is likely if we do see some weakness in the markets. Okay, that is Netflix on the 4-hour time frame. And again, just like Tesla, I'm in a wait and see position, no longer bullish, not bearish, neutral, waiting for further information to develop. Okay. Another name that I wanted to discuss is Facebook. And Facebook's been on a rip. Here is a 4-hour time frame, and it's nothing but going up here. Right? We do have 558 at all-time highs, closing Friday's session just below that at 554. Going into tomorrow, I do have positions above 558. Above that, I am looking at take profits of 360. Sorry, 358 is all-time highs. And above 358, I have positions 360 for take profit number 1 and a take profit number 2 at 365. Now, as I said, stocks do tend to move in round numbers. I personally would like to enter and see if 360 were to break. And if 360 were to break, I would be comfortable entering at that level for take profits at 365 and that 370 mark. And I like to bring to guys' attention here that 370, I've been seeing a lot of call activity on Facebook. If you are trading options, 370 calls have been bought up quite a bit going into next week and the next and the week after that. So keep that in mind for potential push to that 370 mark as buyers are buying up those option calls if you are an options trader. Okay, so if 370 doesn't get hit or doesn't reach that far and we are bearish, where do I see it going? Well, 350 is an area for me. 353 would be my first confirmation. It would ring a bell to me, say, hey, something's going on, right? I wouldn't short there. 350 would be an area of shorting position for me. If that were to break, 347, 345 would be my take profit number one. If that were to break, obviously I have 340 here, which was the breaking point leading us higher. So a test of at that 340 mark is highly likely if we do see some weakness in the tech sector. Okay. We do have also analyst upgrades of over 400 plus. So keep that in mind. Now, if we don't hit 370 this week or 400 next week, stay into it. Obviously, if you have options calls 1 month out, 2 months out, or if you are a swing trader, you're in a good position right now because the chart does look bullish. So keep that in mind. Look at the longer term time frames to give yourself a better outlook. Another name that I wanted to discuss on our list and our daily list at Wealthy Mentor Trading on Discord is AMD. AMD has had quite a bit of a ride recently, bottoming out at that 72.50 mark. Here we are on Friday, closing at that resistance point at 94.50. We do have all-time highs at that $100 mark, and this is a key area for me that I'm going to be looking at next week. It's that 96.50 mark. As you guys can see here, we've had multiple rejections where we couldn't break that $96 area. Once more here rejected, once more here rejected, and this is going back all the way to December 2020. So that should give you an indication that that 96 to 96.50 area is strong resistance. Of course, if we break that, I do have take profits of 98, and obviously $100 is your all-time highs, where, to be honest with you, if we do see 96 break, I am most likely going to enter long positions to target that $100 area. And obviously, if we do break 100, we do have 102 as overhead take profit and 104 as overhead profit. Personally, when a stock gets this high and it breaks with convincing volume, most likely, more often than not, you're going to see all-time highs touch and break. Okay, pretty bullish on AMD. Now, obviously, if everything doesn't go as planned, then we do see SMH, which is the semiconductor sector, pull back, which also involves NVIDIA. So look for correlations with NVIDIA to see if your AMD positions are doing healthy as well. So let's just say we do receive a pullback. I do have support here at that 92.5 area. If that were to break, I have take profit positions at 92.5. Sorry, $90.50. Take profit number one, and the all familiar 88.5 as take profit number two, which was the peak here back on April the 28th, 2021. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on AMD. It does look like it's destined for a breakout. 96.50 first is first. We got to see that 96.50 break before we get, over exuberant on it. Another name that I want to bring to your attention, which is one of our IPO watch list swing trading names we have at Wealthy Mentor Trading on Discord. So this name is Path, P-A-T-H. And I just wanted to bring to your attention this name because we are heading a little lower here. We broke key support at that 67.5 mark, and we do have all-time lows, which was the IPO low, is at 61. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring this name to your attention, guys. We did have an all-time high at 90, and we are trending lower. Names like this would be great to add to your long-term portfolio. I definitely would look to see if $61 hits. If $61 hits, my approach would be to cost average in. Buy a little bit at 61. If it dips lower down to 58, $50, buy a little more. That way you get a nice average instead of going all in at a certain price. So just wanted to bring to your attention this name. I am pretty, I'm not going to say bearish or bullish, but most often than not, when the stocks are trending this way and on low volume, we'll definitely see some sort of double bottom scenario at that $61 area. So keep this on your watch list heading into next week and the weeks after that. Okay. One last name I wanted to bring to your attention, and obviously you guys know I've been talking about this name quite a bit on our Instagram page, and our members know that I'm pretty bullish on this name, and that's AMC. And AMC had a bit of a dip. AMC had a bit of a dip on Friday. A lot of options contracts were closing on Fridays, and that's that happens, right? People closing their positions, not being in the money on a lot of options calls. And I've been noticing this more and more recently that people that are buying options are pretty much getting toast. Um, they're not finishing in the money. And there have been a lot of options buyers and hedge funds, to be honest with you, they don't want to have a lot of in the money calls that could trigger another gamma squeeze, which was what we saw here on the run up to the $77 area. If we do have some of that gamma squeeze thing going on again, it could definitely catapult this past that $77 mark, pretty much 100% gain, and that can also trigger a short squeeze. So with this name, there's a lot of over exuberant buyers, a lot of emotional people that when you do see a crowd that's very emotional, you could definitely see this thing push a lot higher. So Friday's indication of buyers again stepping in at that $50 mark to me still makes me very bullish on the stock. A lot of times these pump and dump schemes go straight up and go straight down. But as you see with AMC, it has held $50 for quite a bit now. And this is pretty much a channel that we're in from that $50 mark to that $65 area where we do have clear resistance. Heading into next week, I would like to see 57.50 break. If that were to break, I have take profits at 62 and 65. But overall, guys, I definitely would like to see $65 break to get an entry on that. Okay. We do have strong support at $50. Whoever bought the dip on Friday, congratulations. You are in the money right now. And like I said, I'll continue to monitor this above that $65 area. I'm also going to be looking at $50. And if we do see weakness under 50, we do have support at that $45 area and the $42.50 area. Overall, guys, my opinion on this, buy shares, not the options. Hedge funds are playing games right now, and they're killing all the options calls, pretty much going sideways and making you lose money. But if you buy shares and hold, you're in control. Okay. Those are the names I wanted to speak about. In a quick recap here, SPX is at all-time highs. Look for 4,400 psychological to potentially get hit before receiving some sort of pullback. Also look to see all the other sectors, if there's any correlation with them. If they start to pull back, look for the financial sector to get rolled into for a rotation and money to pop into there to prop up the market. Look for Apple at that 140 resistance, like I mentioned. If that were to break, potential all-time highs is near. NVIDIA, like I said, the trend is your friend. We are all-time highs. Still, we have multiple analyst upgrades. Potentially could push the stock to $900. Tesla, key rejection at 700. Look for that to break for entries. Netflix trending higher, albeit slowly, but we do have 536, I should say, resistance, and that 552 to 555 area as stronger resistance. Facebook at all-time highs. We do have multiple analyst upgrades of $400 plus targets, so keep that in mind. AMD, strong week again. That $96.50 area is key. If we do break that, look for $100 all-time highs. Path, which is the IPO name that I spoke about, trending lower. All-time lows is $61. Might be a name that you want to add to your portfolio long term. Great name. AMC, like I said, still stuck into this channel. Buyers stepped in on Friday, keeping it above 55. Did see a little uptick after hours on AMC. So 65 and 50 are your levels on AMC heading into next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Leave a comment in the comment section if you want any names reviewed. And if you do want to join our Discord channel at Wealthy Mentor Trading, click the link in the description and it'll take you straight there, and check us out. All right. Thank you and have a happy 4th of July. Bye.